Spanish.
No. Wait, you're learning Spanish, DauT?
Sí.
Wait, are you serious?
Madre mia, danade.
How long have you known that, Nelson?
Beautiful. Not that long. Not that long, apparently.
Buenos noches.
All right, hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Majmoha, and today it's time for another post-match talk, where we like to gather the whole team and discuss recently finished tournaments. This one will be fully dedicated to Warlords 4, which was won once again by Hera after beating Mr. Yo in the final 5-1. And Hera, once more, congratulations. We always need to start these things with congratulating you because you win it all the time, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Greedy.
Yeah, great. He even looks bored that I'm congratulating him again. I understand. It happens too often. Now, something I wanted to ask you, Hera. I listened to the winners interview yesterday, and you were saying stuff like you thought this was one of the toughest tournaments and because of the new civs and because of all the new maps and stuff like that. And I was thinking, the final didn't look all too tough for you. You were eating between maps. You were chewing during the games. It didn't look all that tough for you, bro. But yeah, I understand you were talking about the tournament in general, right? And if I actually think about the Garrison, where you 3-0'd and 3-1'd everybody up until the final, this one did feel a little bit tougher in the sense that you had people giving you a harder time. You had Barrels bringing you to the last game, Vinchester, TaToH, all of these guys, had very close series with you. What do you attribute that to? Do you think like the competition's getting closer, or do you think it was a lack of prep? It feels stupid to talk about this after winning a final the way you did, but you know where I'm coming from.
Well, the first one, like the Borrow set, was probably lack of prep because I was just coming off a subathon. I played it during the subathon actually, which is crazy. That one I played like only a few show matches before. I had no idea what I was doing. I was actually surprised to win that one, so that was actually a good 3-2 for me. But the knockout stage, after that, I had a couple of good 3-0s in the group stage. But the knockout stage, where I played Vinchester and TaToH, and then Yo, I think that was very difficult because when I was preparing for Vinchester and TaToH, I tried to figure out like what maps I could pick. I was wrong on everything. Like I guess maybe like 2 maps. I was even wrong on the maps that I can pick because of how the draft is. So that's why I was saying that Warlords is a super hard tournament. Like there's a new patch and there's new pathing, by the way. It's also a really important factor. But like new patch, pathing's weird, and there's a new civs. And on top of that, I can't really predict what my opponent's going to do, nor what I can do. So that made it incredibly difficult. And like practicing 21 maps with all those factors, very, very hard thing to do.
So everybody was laughing at what he said about the pathing. So what exactly is different? What have you guys noticed that is different, and how do you go around it? Let's DauT.
It's better than ever, right? It's improved. I read patch notes, and I why would I lie? Like, it's better than ever. Sometimes when you move many times, one group moves, other doesn't. But they're faster at least. They're faster. I mean, overall, it's good patch. And pet finding, we hear already saying it's nearly pet finding, not his job, but I don't care. It's all Neely's fault. But the next patch,
That's going to be the one.
Units are going to fly. Next patch, we are paying calorie. I can promise you that much.
TaToH, I heard Neely say, of course, I don't know if this is true or not, that they were making a lot of progress internally. So there's a patch they were going to be releasing at some point, but they don't want to release it right now because they're still not entirely sure if the patch that they have is breaking something else. So no, they're just being cautious about it. Do you buy this? Do you buy that this is true? You're hopeful that pathing is going to be fixed at some point?
I'm hopeful.
Okay,
I think like
cool.
if Neely's saying that, after all, like the report that he has gathered, at least I have hopes because it cannot get really way worse than it is right now.
That's
Like
the meta.
regrouping.
That's actually the meta. Like they're fixing because they ruin it, they make it worse, and then
And
they
now
just
it's like-
reverse the last patch, and now it's improved. That's actually the meta, right?
It's actually, 5D chess, because that means that Microsoft needs to keep paying the devs to work on the game, no? And so they're breaking it, fixing it at the same time. All the other times they're bringing in new civs and all that, It's 5D chess that they're playing. Okay, my friends, let's talk about the final. So who has watched the final, who has not watched the final? So just so I know on whose expertise I can rely on to comment on the games. Well, Hera obviously saw it.
I watched it.
I watched some of it here and there, not like in full detail. back
Okay.
in some comments as well.
That sounds good.
My son birthday was yesterday, but I was checking all the time to see the score, especially the first game. That first freaking game. I guess we'll go step by step.
That first freaking game, that was a border dispute. Hera goes for Slavs, Yo goes for the Lithuanians. First of all, Hera, Slavs, I don't think I've seen that pick before on the map. What's behind the idea there?
Basically, Leary lost to Lithuanians, and he was playing Khmer, and I was like, you should have won that one with Khmer. Like 100% Leary should have won with Khmer against Yo. And then I wanted to pick Khmer, but I knew he'd ban it, so I prepared Slavs the night before. Played one game on it, felt amazing. I just think it's a really good civ to beat Lithuanians. Lithuanians are very overrated, in my opinion, because they don't get a consistent EQ boost. So the way to counter them is to play a civ with a consistent EQ boost. And then you have to hold their stronger units, which is the lightest. I think Slavs have the tools to deal with that. I don't think I played particularly well, though. I actually made a lot of mistakes, but I think overall Slavs is a very good counter to Lith.
You know, everybody was watching it. The feeling that most people probably had was that at some point you should have resigned. And the should is very in heavy quotes here. Of course, you shouldn't because he won. What kept you in the game? At some point, Yo was raiding you everywhere. It seemed like he had the strongest unit to the lightest. What kept you in the game?
Well, I was going to resign at some point, I'm not going to lie. It was not smooth sailing for me. It was up and down. But I think what kept me in it was the fact that he never truly delivered a killing blow. Like, he was picking off my castles on the outside. But if you think about it, I still had all my economy intact. Like, when I was about to resign, I looked at my bill count, 1/3. Yeah, I'm staying in the game, you know? Can't leave. I got 130 people relying on me, you know? So I just felt like, okay, let's just, continue trying, continue doing what I was doing. I was finding decent success. And then once I got my tech full on my units, I was really late on like the armor on Halb, for example. So once I filled up my tech, every time I got a tech, I just started winning a bit more. And then I felt like, okay, like it's just a matter of time till I'm able to turn this around. So I guess that's what kept me in the game. And I think one thing that won me the game in the end was just keeping the pace on him, not letting him control the game. We started Hussar raiding him, Halb raiding him even. Halb raids are very underrated because like a Hussar raid, you send the Halb. If a Halb raids you, what do you send, Yeah, I think that after I got control of the game with the pacing and whatnot, it was the turn of the tide, basically.
Mm-hmm. TaToH, how does Yo win that game? Or what did he not do that he should have done?
I think his major mistake was not switching to halves earlier. Like at
To
some
halves?
point he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people are saying skirms or hand cannoneers maybe should have been a little bit earlier. You think halves should have been earlier?
I think Skimmism will have been a mistake. I think halves plus hazard from Hera will kill that comp. But playing your own halves to tank Hera's halves, I think makes more sense. Then the latest can destroy. And that was before he was running out of gold because he still had he was mining 2 gold mines. So he still have some gold left, but like just full ladies will not last for too long.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Orion, I saw that Yo, he won that map against you as well. And he went for very early control of that middle lake, which, when you look at it, seems so small and so insignificant, but it does feel like it played a part in winning against you and in potentially giving him a good situation against Hera too. Would you agree? How much does it play? How much of a role does it really play having the control of that middle tiny pawn?
Well, it's kind of an entry point to your whole base, right? And if he has control of it, also can take out one of your town centers. So it can definitely have an impact. I think against Hera, they were both fighting for that pawn a lot longer, right? I just gave it up. So I think maybe Yo as well realized, and Hera probably too, that the middle is important. So definitely worth fighting for, but how impactful it is long term, because it's still like the bottom of the map, right? Everything else around is elevated. So it helps for early control, especially if the game is equal. I think it's a big advantage, but that's not where Yo won or lost the game.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's move on to game 2. That was Nomad. Hera goes for Malians. Yo goes for Vietnamese. And what happens there very early on, Hera wins the water. And I heard you say during the interview as well, Hera, once you win the water on that map, you just decided to go for a Omega boom, a fish boom, and you feel like that's kind of overpowered on that map and people are sleeping on it. So what should have Yo done to counteract that? I mean, not lose water, ideally, but once he loses it, what does he do?
He has to get back on it for sure, or he has to push me on land heavily, and he kind of did something in between where he went for like a light land push. But that fish boom, I was saying in the interview how I was doing that on team games, and it's really ridiculous. Like basically, it's like I had 8 TCs because I had like 8 docks. It's like I have 8 TCs always working and no raids on them as well. So it's really, really strong. And the fish gathers at a rate that's faster than farms as well. Like, you just make the fish and it gathers food right away. You don't need to make the ville, make the farm. So it's very efficient. And I feel like it's the kind of thing that if it goes unchecked, I would just start flying with my economy because you can't keep up with that. And that's basically what happened. So I think he should have either pushed me really hard on land, something like forward castle, take a risk, or he has to get back in water somehow and then try to kill my fish.
Going forward, castle DauT. How does that sound to you? I mean, everybody. That's something that people were saying to try to go forward castle. Isn't it way too risky though when you don't even know where the opponent is exactly? Well, he could see your TC, of course. Is that maybe a little bit too risky on that map, DauT?
Depends at what state of the game you are, right? Sometimes you need to take the risk, like especially if your enemy controls the water, right? You have to take the risk.
So you would have gone forward with that castle. Yo kept it at home. You would have gone forward.
I regret I didn't go for that castle against Viper in that set. Like if castle doesn't go up, at least I tried. Against Viper, I didn't even try. Like, I regret for castles that didn't go up, but even more for those that I didn't even try to go up.
And DauT, when you did try versus Viper, it was the most embarrassing forward castle of my life.
I know.
Let them see.
I know.
Hey, relax though. We were match
still-
fixing, so
It's still
Oh yeah,
bad.
I heard that one. Yeah, I heard that one too.
Well, when you see that castle, I think the guy got the point. Like the castle, like it was not defensive, it was not aggressive. It was like, let's just make the castle. Like, it looks pretty. Like, it was terrible.
But DauT is the second castle I'm talking about, where you made it under his TC, lost
Oh,
everything.
that
was even worse.
That's when I'm proud. No, that one is proud. That one, no. That
That's
one is
the
a
one
good.
you like?
No, that's one I like. Like, it's
That
like
was horrible.
I need to do something. That's the risk.
Not
I'm living
that. Not that.
if I don't do anything, I die, right? So at least I die, and maybe he doesn't send villagers in TC and kill my villagers. I don't know. Maybe he overreacts, underreacts.
Maybe Viper doesn't garrison his TC when you're making the castle under his
Spanish villagers,
Maybe he doesn't
maybe
see
he's
it.
like, he will go up fast, he's running away, I get momentum, timing, drums, bam, 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 monks, everything, game over. You never know. But
That's
if
horrible.
I make it at home, I'm just dead to the imp, right? I knew he was up, he's Italian, he got the fish boom. Like, similar to the Hera U economy. Once the game comes to like a water fight, it's like, that's the funny thing about those hybrid maps. It's not worth to go full water, but if other guy is going full water, you're committed to go full water, and then if you lose it, you're kind of already dead, right? That's like a stubborn way of playing. Like, sometimes it's good to predict and like, okay, I will invest this much of the water, and then I will have the second plan to drop a castle in his face, or I don't know, siege monk pressure. Think ahead, but if you're not reacting like that, you're committing everything to the water. If you lose it, Nomad is a water map then, and that's more or less what happened with Hera.
Interesting. Moving on to game 3, that was Arena. Hera goes for Burmese, Yo goes for the Turks, and I saw you're very happy, Hera. That was one of the first times you made a monk rush work, so yeah, congratulations on that one too.
Thank you.
Yeah, that one fight where he tries to kill your monks with Janus Harris seems to have decided the whole thing.
I'll tell you what happened. 2 nights. We had like 2-3 nights, me versus Mr. Yo, because we practiced on the same time zone. I was playing late at night for me, and he was playing in his morning. I called him. I said, "Yo, one game." He's like, "Nah, I'm busy. Like, it's too late." I said, "Come, Mr. Yo, just one game." Boom, monk crush him on Arena. Destroy him, send him to bed. He's thinking about that all night. Next day, we do the same thing. I send him to bed with another monk rush. And then after he kept asking me, like, is there a counter? I said, no, there's no counter. Then I pick Arena and I pick a monk rush stuff. He didn't know what to do. Like, he was trying something really weird because he just didn't know what to do. I beat his Burgundians, I beat his Bohemians. He was a broken man coming to that Arena game. And he tried something that just was not it for the monk rush.
It was defeated before it even started.
TaToH,
one of the most experienced Arena players. He had an amazing game against Hera. How does Yo stop that?
I mean, he has a lot of options. He knows that it's coming. Pick Teutons at least. Try like Mongrass. Something to counter, right? Like, not let it. And the second mistake was you cannot send a light up there first.
Right, because it allowed Hera to charge, right?
He was charging all the monks, and then he sends the legendaries later. Like, that was. I mean, if it's good, like, send the light up, and then when the legendaries are closed, just delete it. So he stops. That could work. It's risky, but it could work. But not the way like he did it. It was really bad. Also, the build order was painful. Like, he did like FC selling 100 stone, then he sends 10 villages on a stone while he's making light up. It was like a middle ground. Just like be patient, mass light up, get atonement, and at least try something like can work. Not like what he did was probably the worst scenario for like to counter monks. In my opinion.
TaToH is not impressed. I feel like that does explain a lot. What Harry just said. He was defeated from all the prior experiences. It was like, okay, fuck it, let's just do whatever. It's funny though. Okay, so game 4, that's Stone Rush. Harry goes for the Way, the only one of the new civs, and Yo goes for Poles. And you were praising this strategy during the winner's interview, Harry. You said that wasn't a crazy strategy and good strategy with Yo, with the Poles from Yo's side. So what exactly was the strategy, and what's so good about it?
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing crazy. It was so simple, right? It's just like an open map. I want to pressure and then full work farm because there's a lot of space. I'm just like, I was just impressed at like how basic it was, but how great it was for the map. Also, like he played it completely different to how people were playing it. Everyone was just walling that map and then fighting. He was just like playing open for the most part and then investing his resources into army, which I thought was really good. And it was just like after I saw he had poles there, I was like, oh, this is so good. Like, how did I not think of this? It's amazing, right? And it's poles a civ I like, so like it just resonated with me. Like he came up with something that I feel like I would have loved to play myself. And he destroyed my civ. Actually, Way are like a 40% win rate civ, by the way. Like I don't even know why I'm picking that one. Like it's literally horrible.
You wanted to pick the hero. You wanted to pick the TaToH the hero.
No, you're such a casual mesmer. I don't want to make a hero.
I know. Come on,
I
was that
make,
bad?
I'm like a casual like that. I want to make the unique unit, the Tiger Cav. The Tiger Cav was amazing, but unfortunately I didn't get there. With the hero as well, just for you, Mesmer.
Oh, well, imagine that. Unique unit to the hero. I don't think we've seen... have you guys in games where you're not incredibly trolling, have you guys seen a single hero during ladder games, in tournament games? Of course not.
Couple times.
Yeah. Great Forest, I have used them. Yeah.
Are they good, TaToH?
Oh, do you need them with the Way? It's a must.
Oh, okay.
A must, even.
Yeah.
See, Hera.
You're right after all.
Is the Way hero attack speed or healing? Or
attack speed.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, like the Tiger Cavalry with the hero or the Siam Bay Raiders, I think is the name.
Mm-hmm.
Those, they need a hero to be like competitive, in my opinion.
Wow.
Those need more than a hero. Like
Here is not enough.
You need 5 heroes so they can at least hit something. Like that unit is terrible.
Yeah, Jambe Raiders the worst unit in the game, I think.
Yeah, that feels so underwhelming.
We have Chariot
The
Archers.
chariot.
The chariots are maybe a bit too bad.
Yeah, those guys are bugged apparently, so I don't know if they're going to fix it, but at the moment they're bugged.
Going back in a few years, don't worry about it.
Fair enough. DauT, going back to the game though, what counters Poles there in your opinion, or does Way even have a chance there?
I can just tell you what doesn't counter him. That's V. Like my whole 1 month of Warlords is preparing the new civs to give up the last moment, and like I cannot make them work. I love new civs, but it's just impossible. And out of all civilizations, Way feels like with the most potential, like a good economy, good mobile, like 30% more on knights. Like if the knights are balanced, imagine like Frank's Paladin with 30% more HP. Broken, right? That stick with my mind, and I tried so hard. Like Viper even had the meta because we were practicing and we were supposed to play. He was like, I will leave all the new thieves open, you will not resist. I had to ban them. Like and then I saw Hera, like the only game he lost is his Way. Okay. I'm done with that still now. It's official. Yeah, I think Yo also played very clean, and untypical for Yo, he is the guy who walls right away. I still remember KOTD, like it was the most open version of KOTD. He picks like Burgundians, like, and walls right away. And here, he kind of involved, right? He used that extra wood for poles to make farms. Farms gives food more aggression, and you're against space, so you can, whatever you do, you're not wrong, right? But that gives him the extra push, and yeah, this one win.
Viper, I don't know if you heard this. During the winner's interview in the match against you, Yo said that walling is your problem. They never wall. You only wall when it's when you feel like there's a very big danger coming, and you don't just preemptively wall. And he thinks that's one of your mistakes. Just in case you didn't hear it.
Yeah, but listen, if you are walled, how do you quick wall?
Well, big brain, right? Big brain.
No, I don't think any of the losses to Yo was because I didn't wall. So
okay, right. I just wanted to let you know.
Why were the losses? Why did you lose?
Well, we're gonna come to that. Don't you worry. Okay, we're gonna come to that. I'm gonna give everybody the opportunity.
watch
I
my
just want to
stream,
know
DauT.
what happened.
At least he finished all of his sets. Okay, we can move on.
Oof, okay. I see. There's a lot of potential still coming in this post-match talk. Stay tuned, my friends. Game 5 Shorelines. That's Hera played with the Dravidians. Sorry, I'm not sure if I even said, but Yo won the game 4. That's the only game he won. Game 5, that's Shorelines. Hera goes for the Dravidians. Yo goes for the Armenians. And you were calling Mr. Yo's strategy, Hera, a DauT strategy.
It was
First
out
of
of DauT's
all,
playbook.
First of all, what do you mean by that? Second of all, is that good or bad?
It's always bad. You know, like
Right.
when you get called DauT strategy out of context, it's really bad. But like DauT strategies are usually quite good, except when not when he plays them, but when others play them. With all due respect, DauT. He actually gave me a couple strats.
Sadly, I agree.
He gave me a couple strats to the finals. Didn't get around to them. Actually, the Slav pick, for example, was influenced by DauT. Actually, so I came up with that.
Whoa.
DauT's practice.
Look at that.
Yes. So the Armenian longsword, I feel like it's not a bad idea, but when you go longsword on a water map, I think it's really bad because you by default give up water 100%, and I don't think the longsword does enough to force damage. Like I can quick wall from Viper. I'm not, so I can't. I missed every quick wall, by the way. So I just went for like simple like tower defense, range defense, and because I know I win the water, he's on like some massive timer to do something, and he's doing it with like a very expensive melee unit. Very easy to play against that, you know what I mean? So I don't think it was a horrible strat, but I just feel like I wouldn't risk that in the grand finals to show up with that strat.
Mhm.
And I was surprised he did because like he did something similar against Viper, and he got like, not gonna lie, he got kind of destroyed. Like, that was one of the cleanest like counterattacks or one of the cleanest defenses ever from Viper. But yeah, I'm just surprised he showed up with the same thing. It could work, but it's just very low percentage chance in my opinion.
TaToH, there was no arson for Yo. He didn't research arson in that game. Does that make a difference if he remembers to research it?
I mean, it makes a difference for sure. I think arson makes a lot of pressure, but I don't think it will have changed that much.
Okay.
Also, in my opinion, Hera could have defended much better if he used his galleys to control because the barrack was on the middle and the range was on his base. Like he could have avoided to take damage if he just have like 2 galleys there, so the longswords cannot go over his land.
Patrolling the
I was
passage.
surprised that he didn't go for that, to be fair, when he had already won the water.
Yeah, I realized that late actually. Like halfway through the game, I started like controlling that, but like way after all the pressure came. But yeah, that was definitely a huge mistake on my end. Absolutely right about that.
Okay, game 6, that's Kawasan. Hera goes for Mongols. Yo goes for Inca. Hera, Mongols just feel sort of unbeatable there in that matchup. I mean, I knew right from the beginning he's probably going to do Step Lancers. What can Yo do against it? What could he have done against it?
Nothing. I think we can play that 100 times. Like something weird has to happen for me to lose. It's not even any like Mongols on that map is ridiculous because you get 2 rhinos, you get deer, and it's a fast up water map. So what he did was actually the best case scenario where he prevented me from docking. If we just play standard, I dog, he dogs, I'm up 2 points faster, I win the lake for free, and then with all the hunt that I had, I'm basically on my way to Castlage. Like I basically can make 0 farms and get the Castlage with Mongols. So I think he played amazing considering the circumstances. Denied my dog played weird, but in the end, like you said, Mongols still have really good units against Incas, and I don't know. I just felt like it was inevitable in that game. Nothing much you can do.
All right, so that's a 5-1 final. You felt incredibly confident. Again, you were eating, you were chewing during the games. Felt like it was all a little bit of a walk in the park for you. And not to the respect to anybody, of course. But let's talk about the other people in this call. TaToH, you end up 3rd place. You beat Leary in the 3rd place match. Again, in a match that, in my opinion, very much shows why these 3rd place matches don't really make a lot of sense. Leary resigns in the last map because there's just no point playing that. But yeah, 3rd place, I have to assume you're happy with your performance. You gave Hera in the semifinal an incredibly tough series. So how do you feel about the whole thing?
I'm feeling happy with the result. And happy how I played. Like that's the most important for me. Like even if I don't play good and I get farther, I mean I will still not be completely happy. But in this case, I gave my best and I was really prepared. I think I could have done a slightly better in Sierra in the draft, but apart from that, overall, like my performance was really good. And yeah, like 3rd place match, as I said, like I even stream it because I mean, there is money in the line, but you want to win the whole thing, not just the. And
Right.
it happened last Warlord. It happened the same. Like I was not really motivated to play against Sebastian. After
Oh,
I
you
lost
lost pretty heavily against him, right? If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
So I understand why he resigned. Like I asked him, like, why did you resign so early? And he said, like, I know how this will go in, and I will die in 30 minutes against Lombos and a champion. So yes, let's skip that part. And I completely understand that he didn't want to continue the match.
Mhm. That arena game against Hera, we need to talk a little bit about that
Oh,
one. You almost threw it.
The issue is that there's no space on that arena. I'm not sure if it's smaller than the others arena, but it felt like I was stuck there, and I had to even delete the university to get more space behind my base because I ran out of space. But I didn't feel like I was on really trouble, to be honest.
Mhm.
But I was just hearing monks everywhere. I was so hard. Like, it was so hard.
How does he close the game a little bit earlier, DauT?
No, I just need to give TaToH a tip. When you play against monks, so many monks, what you want to do? Listen,
What?
you fake engagements. That's so annoying for a monk player. Like you have, I don't know, 20 like you send them, he start converting, you go back. Then again, he needs to click all the time, right? All the time.
Mhm.
And you just go back. Like for him, it's so frustrating.
But what point
especially
are
for
you
me as a
talking
low
about?
APM player, like you fake engagements, like he needs to click. He doesn't know if you're able to commit or not, right?
Yeah, but
Big
at
brain.
what point
Any
do you
fight.
mean?
At
Whole
any
game.
point, at any point, whole game.
But
He only hit monks whole game.
Yeah, of course. But
Like
it
the
was
big fight, you have like Chi monks, mangonels, light cab. You start going and then you go back because he's clicking everything, and then he go back. Then at one point you commit completely, but that's so tough. Like it's way tougher for him. He needs to select everything, and you just go back. You're doing 2 clicks. He's doing 25 clicks.
I think that's fair when there is a like open field and I have a space or I have a castle to back up. Otherwise, the mounts will be charged and he can continue as long as he has line of sight.
That's can be annoying. Like sometimes they continue, sometimes they stop. Like
Yeah, so
I feel like
I
when
don't
they're
trust that too
chasing me,
much.
they're chasing me to the next game. They never stop. Like literally, I see them at my door knocking. Like there is no way to stop them.
How do you feel about the efficacy of that move, Hera?
No, I think it's really good advice, but not for the castlage. Like I think TaToH's right about castlage. If you do that in castlage, you lose too much time because like you have to back up. You have to wait till the monks stop going forward. So that's good advice for like Imperial Age onwards when the monk rush lingers. Like what TaToH said, when there's more space. That's actually very good advice because then I wouldn't know when he's actually gonna charge, and I'm constantly focused on my monks because if I see him running in and out like a madman, I have to continue watching my monks, which makes my economy worse, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very good advice for that stage of the game. But probably for Castle Age, you want to just hide until you take it one shot. So I don't have the charging set up. So
Mm-hmm.
But I still want a piece of my enemies. So I would
As if you have the APM for that, DauT.
Yeah.
I know my limits.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, moving on to Viper's run. You lose in the quarterfinals against Mr. Yo Orion. So
Ouch.
your general,
I don't understand. I beat DauT every tournament, and he comes and trash talks me in the same tournament I beat him.
Ouch.
Every single time. How does that even work?
I guess next
He's
time
out.
we need to start from the
Look at you.
bottom
Look
up.
at you. He's already. Look, he's red. Look, he was sleeping the whole interview. Now he's red. Like, ouch.
In any case, I have to assume you're not happy with the results. Talk a little bit about it. What happened? How you feel about your whole
What
run.
happened? Best question.
I feel like I
Thank you.
played
Thank you,
fine.
DauT.
I think I just distributed my saves poorly in hindsight. But I think my play was actually pretty fine. So I take confidence from that. But yeah, obviously I think my draft and my distribution was a bit poor. And yeah. And Yo played a super solid set. Nothing else to say.
Mm-hmm. DauT, you agree with the assessment?
Yes, just I don't understand why you didn't use Japanese in the immersion last map.
The
It was the
reason he's
best.
doing this is because I asked him the exact same thing in his match. So he's just like, okay.
I'm just wondering because you give me the advice and then you do the same. Like,
But that is my logic. I should have used Japanese on immersion, maybe Romans
okay.
on that map and this and that. I
okay,
made mistakes, DauT, just like you.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so one contentious point in this series against Yo was your Morass map, which a lot of people felt was very unfair in terms of the resource distribution. Is that a re for you, Hera, that Morass map?
after that. That's what
Hey,
the admins were
it
saying.
was
I
easier for me
sense
to
the
wall.
sarcasm.
It was easier for me to wall. Come on. I could wall easier. It was fine.
Your meals are
Uh,
cheaper.
That's true.
I
as well.
think that the criteria for restarts throughout the entire tournament with the qualifiers was super strict. Like you had to, like the game literally had to be unplayable, like literally bugged for a restart to be called. So I'm not sure if we should like lower the criteria of restarts, or if maybe we should get some pro players' opinions in there just to be like, because even if it's not bugged, it could still be really hard to play. That being said, on that Moras game, I think Viper should have still won actually, but you slept on Monks. I think you could have went double Monastery Castlage, and you would have actually destroyed him.
You are addicted to
I-
monks here.
I don't.
I know.
He
But
has
I
become
think-
the enemy.
In case of
Two
doubt,
monastery.
double monastery. Just say.
It fixes any problem.
But I
Because
thought
double
He
monastery-
doesn't suffer the pathfinding, to be fair, right?
But he has so much food. He can just go light cab, no? And the
No, but
the
it's-
dungeon's already taking so much map control.
You're setting up the castle. So you do the siege to clear the dungeons. You have the two monastery monks, so you control like the siege and any stray sergeant you can convert, and then you go for the castle. When you go for the castle, and you have 10 monks. Then he can't counter castle. So you would
That's
get the
possible,
castle
yeah.
before he gets the light cab. And if he gets light cab, no problem. You see my game, the light cab come, they get converted just the same.
But he
Not a
builds the
problem.
castles faster. So no,
I think that's really needed the monks actually.
I see what you mean. Monks could have helped for sure. But I still feel like Sicilians. Actually, maybe not. I initially thought Japanese beat Sicilians, but then in hindsight, I thought maybe the other way around, that Sicilians are better. But who knows? Maybe if I had more shorefish and monks, maybe, who knows?
Actually, one thing about that, if you're not sure, I think you should always give the benefit of the doubt to the opponent, because you have to see
Yeah.
like your opponent practice this versus Japanese, because it's an obvious pick. So if you're not sure that Japanese would beat a weird pick, you have to assume that they don't, because
Such a
otherwise
good
you wouldn't
point.
pick.
Mhm.
I should have
Weird
gone
pick.
Japanese on immersion. Like that.
No, I like
That's-
Hera point here, and then
Such a good
he,
point. Yep.
He went full Monk Crash on Arena against you, although he played against that team like every night, and then you still do it, like completely opposite what he said. Like, yeah, but still, you should think like, okay, I beat him twice with the Monk Crash in the practice. He sees I'm Burmese, he got something planned. Why didn't you think like that? It's a Monk Crash, it's good. Like,
I think the Monk Crush has no counter if you play correctly. Honestly, like you need a counter strategy. You cannot play meta. But Mr. Yo, he's a meta player. He has trouble thinking outside the box sometimes.
Let's move on to DauT's run. DauT very narrowly missed the round of 12. You forfeited the rest of your series.
Ouch.
We're going to talk about the tiebreaker rules for sure, but before we get to that, your assessment on your performance, DauT, what went wrong for you?
I didn't make enough monks. No, overall, I think I had one bad set against ACM, terrible set. Like that was not my day. I'm not sure why. Like I felt good. I wanted to play. I just like a bad day. I had very bad against ACM, and that kind of hunt me down, right? Because ACM had a kind of bad set against Mihai, and then I'm in suddenly a situation where I need to win 3-0. Like against Viper, I took 2 wins that didn't count anything, more or less. Like I just like good job out. Like thank you for the full content of 5 games. But this I turned them back in the last set. No more content for me. Like.
So that's
yes,
why you forfeited.
No.
Understood.
Obviously, like I guess I will. Yeah, I was crushed, right? You people have to understand. Like at the last, like I put like more than a month into this tournament. You know, you have to win 3-0. It's not a classic best of 5 at that point. It's different conditions. For me, condition is 3 wins. For him, is 1 win. After that, it's over. If I want 3-0, for him, it's easier. His set is over. For me, when he wins first game, that's it. I'm like on merge of tears here. I'm crashing here. My soul left my body. And you're supposed to now continue playing with the webcam there. You're like completely like in denial that this did not happen right now to you. And I asked admins, like, if there is no penalty, there is no reason to continue. I'm like, if it's possible, I would prefer not to continue. And admins did obviously respect my demand there. Thank you again. But they were also prepared. Like they told me, like, in case you win 3-1 or 3-2, we will not do a winner's interview with you, but with Mihai. So they already knew that, like, it's not. I'm not a winner. Like I won the set,
Right.
but
right.
I'm out of the tournament. So they would already do the winner interview with Mihai. So it was, well, maybe there was a little bit of drama, but it was not intentional. Like at that point, I could finish the set, but there was no point. I was crushed. Like, give me Mihai now, we would finish the set, no problem. But at that point, I would prefer not, and hopefully you guys understand.
Now, I think everybody understood, and I think if we talk about the Sitaux situation as well, all of you guys have given your takes and your from what I understood. I think it's very similar. First thing I saw, again, most people are going to know, but Sitaux didn't really throw his games against Winchester, but made it clear he didn't want to win, and that's because a little bit of a tiebreaker rules. The first time I saw it, I was like, well, yeah, it looks weird, right? It looks cringe, it looks a little bit weird. But the more I think about it, the less of a problem I have with it. He's playing for the best play. There's a lot of money on the line. He's playing for the best placement in the tournament. I cannot bring myself to criticize him too much. I did see you, TaToH, though, getting a little bit in a fight with Sitaux on Twitter. So you obviously have a different fight, yeah, in big quotes. So you obviously see things differently. How do you feel about it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think it's like from the format perspective, he didn't do anything wrong. Like he took advantage of it, and I'm not like if I have to choose between if I have the option to choose between going for the path of SCCN and Hera or Mihai and me, I will do the same, obviously. But one of the problems is that he made it too obvious. Like it was clear, like game 1 and like for me, game 3 was the least problem. Like he tried the
douche.
He tried a strategy. Okay, what maybe it's not the optimal strategy there. But at least he tried something, right? Game 1, 22 or 21 pop up with Mongols, no loom. Weird. And then the game 2, like getting trapped on the gates. It's also sus. So for me, like I didn't like that he did it on purpose, obviously. Also, like imagine like now there's Betis on the S tier tournaments. Imagine if I don't know, like Sitaux told a friend, I don't think he did it, to be fair. But imagine if you tell a friend, like, okay, bet no sé what it is, a cup or anything, but I know that they are Betis. Imagine like there's bet 1,000 euros that I will lose 3-0 because it's better for me.
Understood,
and also
yeah,
you can get
good
like
point.
a really nice odds. Like it's a bit controversial.
I have one thing just to push back on that a little bit because I agree with some of the things you said, TaToH, especially the betting. I'm so against the whole betting things on games, and like obviously can't control it, but it's really annoying that it's found the way to come to AoE2. But if Sitaux didn't make it obvious, you could argue that he would win the set because Winchester can also throw, which would be considered optimal play for the format. So I think like saying that he was too obvious about it, maybe he had to because or else Winchester could also throw, and then it's like everyone's soft throwing. Then who wins in the end, right?
What happens if both resign at minute 1 then?
That's what I was telling the admins. I was telling the admins that the optimal play going into that set is to resign as fast as you can because the other guy is trying to resign as well. So that's why I put the blame on the format because you can never have a situation where a player has the best chances to win the tournament if he loses a set. That it's 100% on the format. Because if you're thinking about it from a tournament perspective, even if we're not trying to throw the games and trying to be like, moral or whatever, then by showing any strategy whatsoever, you're giving your next opponent information on you. So if your set doesn't matter, the best chances you have of winning the tournament, even if you're not trying to rig the bracket, just trying to like save the strategies, resign right away, take the loss, and you have better chances to win the next tournament. No one knows anything about you, and you're good. So that's why it's 100% the format, even though I wouldn't have done what Sitaux did. I had the opportunity in tournaments, I wouldn't have done it. But I don't blame the guy because I think like the format is the ultimate play. So I agree with some of what you said, TaToH, but for me, it's like 100% on the format and 0 on the player.
Like, the format is a big aspect, as you say, but like you don't need to play strategies that you need to hide anyways. Like you can play normal or like just like fun. Like as I said, like game 3 for me was the least problem. They look worse the game 3 because what he did on game 1 and game 2, in my opinion. Like if he played normal, even if he loses game 1 and game 2 and then he does that on game 3, I think no one will have any problem with that, in my opinion.
Let me hear from DauT.
Rarely I say this, but I hardly disagree with TaToH. I think differently there. I completely think differently. I don't blame Sitaux. I don't even blame the format. It's life, right? That's how it is. And it could be another way around. Like, let's get something clear. Nobody will play 100% in that match for win. Nobody will do a secret strategy. Nobody will practice. So it's a throw machine. only question is level. It's too obvious. It's less obvious. Nobody's playing 100%. There is no 100%. Even if it was not about the like you already passed, right? You passed the group stage. That's the main goal. Even if it was like I have the best strategy on Moraz, I will not even show you if I get easier bracket because I will use it in the next round. So nobody is playing 100% there. Now, where we do draw the line, like it's too obvious. For me, the line is right there. You're not giving 100%. That's it. Now he made it too obvious. Is that a problem? Like, but now I need to fake it. Are you playing WrestleMania here?
I agree. Yeah.
Like
Making
we
too obvious.
judge the level of
still-
fakeness, right? Okay, he played like, or for example, Sebastian Leary. Nobody talk about that. Basically, the same thing happened.
Yeah.
Basically, the exactly same thing happened, and nobody blaming Leary. Yeah, but they played bad games, bad strategies, funny strategies. Leary lost. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
Like,
but
they
just
said it
I
again.
think there's a difference there, though, because in that match nothing changes. In this one, something changes.
Yeah, but-
because then Sitaux arguably has the easier bracket.
Like there, you don't care if you win or lose. Here, you want to lose.
That's the only
difference.
change. But we are talking about the quality of the games. And what would happen if Leary Sebastian were first match of the week, not the last one? Like it's the format, right?
Mhm.
It's the format, but it's normal. Like there is no perfect format. We can say that problem with any
Right.
format.
Yeah.
Right, Viper. Let me hear from you. This Sitaux situation and all the other controversial situations.
I think it's up to the admins and the tournament host to make the sets count. Same as DauT Mihai. When you have situations and sets where there's supposed to be more games and they are irrelevant to the tournament, then something has gone wrong. And in this case, it was the format. I think there would have been an easy fix here, which you could argue it's not fair to the rest of the tournament. But I don't think a single player would have had any issue with, hey, Sitaux finishes there, whoever wins, you can choose which bracket you enter. Not a single player would have been like, "Oh, this is
I
unfair,"
would.
because not a single
Not
player
even trolling.
except
Not even
DauT,
trolling.
not a single player except DauT because he's stupid
No.
would be like, "No,
Why is
since I-
ACCM fault or Mihai? I don't want to
Sorry?
be chosen. ACCM lose the right then. You
Okay, let me
cancel the
see.
matches.
TaToH, Hera, would you guys have an issue if the winner of their set got to choose which bracket to enter?"
No.
Not
for me, but
I-
I understand the point that
The point is that,
The-
okay, if you don't do
others
this,
can.
yeah, but the point is, if you don't do this, then we have this situation. I think that was the best. Like, it's not ideal, obviously, but it's the best situation they could have done in that moment. So I still think it's up to the admins and the tournament hosts to make the sets.
I think changing the rules on the fly is very risky though. Like I
It
agree
is.
with you,
I
Hera,
agree.
in
I think I
theory.
agree. Yeah, I agree.
But
I think-
NAC3 Hera, you should not be there, right? But Nili changed the rules.
Look at
I'm,
that.
I'm just joking. DauT
But I know,
against-
but I think older me would have not put myself in there. I
Yeah,
think
I'm-
younger me was very excited, but
I'm obviously joking.
Anyway.
you did not do anything wrong. And we had the same situation. DauT, was it DauT Villesse that
Yes.
changed in
I was
NAC as
supposed
well?
to play with
I
Esse,
remember. Wow,
and they
that-
put me with Leary, right? And it
point
was
is-
like,
yeah, because
not
they
the best.
didn't want to. Yeah,
It's not
I remember
ideal,
that.
but they tried to make the best out of the situation because that's what admins and tournament hosts need to do as well. Obviously, changing rules aren't good, but when the rules are bad,
Yeah, once the bad situation arises, what do? I see the point. I think as a former tournament organizer, you have to stick with the rules, no matter how dumb they are. I think you have to stick with the rules because it's too unfair to everybody else. But I understand where you're coming from. 100%.
But if you do
I
that,
think it's
if
fine.
you're-
I think it's fine if they change the rules for the entire bracket the day before, and they could have done that because the rules, the issues were obvious. Like, they
nobody
got
understand the
feedback-
rules anyway, so it would be fine.
Nobody reads them anyway.
They got the feedback like 2 days before the last round. So I think they had time to change the entire last round bracket. In that case, I would not have an issue. And Viper's idea was pretty good. Like everyone gets to pick their side, or like, change the whole bracket like that. So everyone, the winner of the group stage or whatever, second place gets to pick the bracket. I think that's fine if they did it for everyone. But changing the rule for one, not the other, that's where it feels a bit weird.
but that's the thing. Like, okay, if you don't do anything, then we have this situation, and like, what's better? Then-
Arguably the situation, to be fair.
Well,
Then changing
Then
the
we
rules.
cannot. But if that's the case, then no one can complain that the games played out the way they did because the rules are the rules. Then they're allowed to do so.
Like,
And then
for
no
example,
no one should have a single thing to say about it on paper.
I didn't want to finish my set with Mihai. I messaged the admins and they respect my rule. Like, if I was in Azure set, let's say I was in Sitaux, I would message Memp. I would say, Memp, don't force me to play this match. Whatever happened, I will look bad, right? Either I win or I'm bad for me. Either I throw the games or I see Winchester is throwing, then I throw more, and then it's like in the last game, it's
Looks
race.
dumb,
Who,
yeah, looks dumb, yeah.
Out the
But
four
then
fastest.
But you're then as well changing the rules. The games are supposed to be played.
Yes,
So-
but you don't change the court address. We cut the brackets here. Who got the better stats right now? That's it. You don't play the last match. No, don't play it.
That doesn't make sense.
Why?
What if Winchester would have liked to be third place potentially?
Offer if you guys want to play. But
Yeah, and then Sitaux
cancel.
doesn't want to play, but Winchester wants to play because Winchester wants to
Admin
throw,
win.
so he gets
Yeah.
third place instead.
just or just do
That's
this.
what I'm saying. There
There
is no
good
way to
solution.
win.
Yeah, I agree. But it's like giving them option that will now hurt other side of the bracket. Like I choose you, Mihai. That's
Yeah, but my point
that's
is
terrible.
that Sitaux chose without like any like Sitaux that he did choose his bracket, but he just did it in a very people would argue it's an immoral way.
Like
Give them
imagine
some-
if Winchester, if I was in Winchester's spot after the first game, I would
Yeah.
instantly resign second one. We
And
start to
that-
resign.
then
What
the
happens?
both
What happens? I see Sitaux is drawing, and then second game I instant resign. What
Yeah.
you do in turn game?
I wish that would have happened. I would have loved to see.
Third
So
game's
you
another
need
race.
to bend the rules a little bit.
One last thing on this. I personally believe that if they ran a simulation of the bracket before the tournament started, then they would have seen these issues before it happened. Just like the players have to prepare the maps and civs, they should prepare the rules and format. Run a
What-
simulation, see if there's any issues, and then you can fix them before the tournament starts.
What makes you think they didn't?
Because there's so many problems. So either
But
they
I
did
saw
and
their
they're incompetent.
announcement after these issues, and in their announcement, they were completely happy with how things play out. So
That's a good point. Maybe they did and they like it. And in that case, I have to ask the question: why do mem admins like a format where players are throwing games? That's another better question.
I want to ask something. Third place match. Do we like it?
No.
No.
Yes.
Why?
No.
I think third place match are fine if it's played before and not live. So the finalists know, okay, this will last 2 hours. I can show up in 2 hours. Then I think it's fine.
But then when did they play it though?
No, I'm talking like I would have hated it from when I used to get to finals. I hated third place matches because I had to sit there and wait. Just be ready just in case. And then just sitting there waiting for hours. And
But
the
Hera,
games
I feel
drag
like
on.
we've moved you to our side because I remember it was only me, TaToH, and Viper being against third matches. I feel like we've moved you to our side. Is that true? Have you changed? Have you had a change of mind on that?
I think I used to like them from the perspective of like it's the best thing to fill before the finals. So I still think that's true. But like, I just feel like it's really heartbreaking to play a third place match after you already lost the tournament. So like I think from the player perspective it sucks.
I
Yeah.
had to finish the set and I lost the tournament. The people judge me like.
Can I also
Like-
bring up one more thing?
Anything
We
you
didn't
want,
finish talking about DauT's tournament results yet, but he had to play 3 qualifiers, right? In the second
Ooh.
qualifier, didn't he like play Jordan there?
TaToH lost to Jordan.
What was it in the round of 128 or something?
I think something like that. Yeah.
Wait,
Round of
first thing,
256?
until I forget. Like Hera said, they should run simulations how brackets will play out. And my point is, humans are not reacting perfectly as according to the rules and everything. Like you have emotions, right? Like for example, simulation would not say, "I will stop playing against Mihai when I'm 2-1 up," right? That's the human emotion. Same like Winchester. I mean, Sitaux will want to play the best he can because like that's PC computer doesn't see that he wants to throw the games.
It's hard to
it's-
consider
it's-
every single scenario.
it's-
Yeah,
the-
I agree.
the-
No,
Those
no, it's
things-
not hard at all.
That's the
It's
human
not hard at
nature.
all.
It's still not yet. AI is not that good yet.
But you
No,
still get
it's-
to
it's
see
not-
that A and B will end up there and there depending on the result.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Yes, but
after
you don't
two-
see big
two
lose on purpose. So he's third. You don't see that, right? You see the positions, and you're like, okay,
But now,
this is decent.
after 2 rounds of simulation, the third round would always have the problem. So then you put the critical thing. I'm not saying run an AI to do it and that's it. Grazini looks at what the simulation is doing and he puts his judgment in there. and whatnot.
Hera, I
think-
think you're underestimating
kind of
the
way.
number of permutations there. Because if it's head-to-head and not map difference, there's a lot of different permutations there. Because especially if you have like the favorites not winning, which happened a couple of times, I think the number of permutations and number of scenarios you need to consider are a lot. I might be overestimating. You might be underestimating.
There's so many
Well-
scenarios for the players. 50 civs, 21 maps. If I'm
Fair
sitting at
enough.
the computer practicing
Fair
everything,
enough.
they can run the simulations.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Pro player, pro admin. Let's go.
Pro
That's,
player,
that's what we need.
One last thing on the format.
we will never
For
end.
me, for me, it's not only what the scenario with Lewis, Evas, DauT, Mihai. Also, the scenario with Jordan.
Oh yeah.
Like it's super
Oh,
weird.
That was brutal.
It's super weird that one win
Yeah.
makes you be 4 or first.
Yeah.
Yes,
That-
yes,
That's
yes.
crazy.
Like every format has his flaws, that for sure. But for sure, this shouldn't happen.
Mhm.
And the best part, TaToH, in that one win, his opponent had nothing to play for.
Yeah.
So that is
He played the game of his life because of that.
Okay, guys, we're talking about this, and there's still one last point I want to discuss with you guys, which ties up nicely with all of this. What seems to have caused most of the problems here was that the first tiebreaker was the head-to-head between players in the group and not map difference, which is what used to be the case in some of the tournaments before. Now, I believe when we're being critical of a format, it's important to provide solutions. So I'd like to hear from you guys what you would have done differently. What I hear all the time is that we should make map difference the first tiebreaker instead of the head-to-head. I don't know if that's your guys' positions, but I heard that many times. And I just want to say that having map difference be the first tiebreaker has its own problems. I can very easily think of a situation here. Let's say DauT and Jordan, I'm just speaking randomly. Let's say they finish the group with a 1-2 record. DauT wins 1 series, loses 2. Same thing for Jordan. And let's assume that DauT's series, the one he won, was against Jordan. Okay, so he wins the head-to-head, but Jordan has a better map difference. That means Jordan qualifies ahead of DauT. I'm pretty sure DauT would not be happy in that situation. So what I'm trying to say here is that having the tiebreaker, the first tiebreaker be map difference, can also have all sorts of problems. So what would you guys propose as solutions here? Let's start with you, Orion.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I think head-to-head is a fine tiebreaker if there are more games played. When you have just
We have more than 4 people.
If you have a group of 4, everyone plays each other once. There's not enough games to use tiebreaker as or head-to-head as like the main tiebreaker. If the groups were of 6 or 8, I think tiebreaker head-to-head would have been no problem whatsoever. Map score though, I feel like it depends. Like in Titans League, for example, you have an incentive to win every game. There's some money on the line for each game, and you play every game no matter what. If you play every game no matter what, I think also the what's it called, the map score can also count. But at the same time, we also have like you have sets won and then maps won. I think that should be the order, right? How many sets you win and then how many maps.
Which can still lead to problems, as I just said. So I just wonder what do you see as a solution?
I don't think, again, it's the same as we have alluded to before. There is no perfect system. I think that's just the closest we get to something that is fair. Sets one should be the first priority, and after that, I think it's maps one. Because in the end, you're playing everyone, and especially if you play all games in each set, maps one can even count for more. But I just don't think head-to-head is a fair first tiebreak, simply because of how, I mean, you saw the problems in this tournament.
DauT?
Like, well, we will all more or less agree, but every system got his flaws and positive sides. In this system, I think it's not about tiebreakers as much as out of 4 players in group, 3 players pass. Like that's
true.
Like 80% of players pass the group except me and Jordan. Like, but lower. Like, of course, the problems will happen, right? Of course, especially because if 3 players and most of the groups had like 3 players with the same score, 1-1-1, and then the tiebreaker is brutal. Whatever the tiebreaker would be, it would be brutal because only 1 player is out and he'll be tied with somebody, and they will need to break it somehow. It will be brutal. Like, in my opinion, I will be a bit of the question, but I think we should be past of this milking the content tournament forever. Give us a single elimination, give us double elimination. It's most fair. Like, I think Hidden Cup is by far the best tournament settings. I absolutely love that. We start 15-3. Every single player starts playing at the same time. And I feel the hype. Like, I know here, we are all same at the time and we are all competing at the same time. We don't know who is who. I feel hyped at that moment. And it's single elimination. I cannot fake it. I cannot lose on purpose, right? It's now or never. And there is something beautiful about that, right? Every match counts. Everything is on stakes.
But there's a counter to that again.
There's no tiebreakers.
No, and then there's not as many views, watch hours, ergo not as much money. And
I have the solution. I have the solution.
I agree.
Double
Let's
elimination is the best tournament format for everyone. You get really good content. You get epic loser bracket runs. Every set counts, but you have an extra life, and the extra life goes to the finals. And best part is there's no third place match. The final day is super hype because you have loser bracket final, win the bracket final, And before Viper gets tired just thinking about it, playing 2 sets back to back is not too hard. If you're in the loser bracket, you have to play 2 sets back to back to win, and that's fine because you already lost. The winner doesn't have that.
If you start 5th in GMT, that's
way too late. Let me hear from TaToH. Solution or what system would you have preferred here?
Well, I think it's combined with what I say, like the 3 players going on the group stage. Like head-to-head is really bad, in my opinion. And there's one major reason. Like there's always, or most of the time, like there's a favorite on the group. Like just let's look at Hera group. And if I'm there, someone can argue that, okay, if my games against Hera won't count because he is supposed to win all series, I will not try hard. I will not prepare. I will not use my strategy against him because I know that my games won against him won't count if I'm tied with the other 2. So I would rather just focus on beating the other 2, and I will just show up against Hera and just play like meta. So in my opinion, like sets should count. So you always fight for the win, and also after that the maps, because then every map count and you can play around that.
Okay. GSL system. Anyone? GSL? It's like no.
just a bit bored of it.
I mean, if it has to be groups, in my opinion, it has to be GSL. Otherwise, I agree with DauT, single elimination. And they had it for Warlords 3, which makes it to me a little bit more confusing because
double elimination. That's the best.
Double elimination's the shit.
I'm telling you, they do it in every Super Smash tournament, and it's so hype. Like the bottom bracket runs are insane. Like it's
Counter-Strike does GSL all the time too, so that's where I have it from.
I mean, single elimination. If it's not random seats, like brackets, like Mem said, did it on Warlords, I think is fine. Because if it's always the same seeding, you will always face the same players, and that, I don't think that's fair either. So in that case, if you want to keep the seeding, I will go for double elimination over single elimination for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my friends, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for the time. One last question. I'd like to hear a general assessment on the civs. How Kitans obviously is going to be considered borderline broken or absolutely broken potentially, but general assessment on the civs, which ones you like, which ones you don't like. DauT first.
I like them all. I'm like, I really think they're well made, and I like new toys, right? They're fun to examine. Also, it's hard to balance, especially because they put a new type of knight that felt first insane. Then you see like, okay, they have more armor, but like they die to skrms because they don't have HP. Like skrms need to hit them 20 times. It's only 1 damage instead of 2, but they have no HP. The balance will come later, I guess. They need to fix it. It's brand new version of Knight. But I love those type of units. Like I was super hyped when like the Indian DLC, they changed Rams for Elephant Ram. Like something new, something unique. Like I love those things. Like Step Lancers now, I would think more teams should get them. So then soon enough, we will have this team got Knight, this got Step Lancers. They got, I don't even know the I don't know the name of the Knight for the
Haiguang, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That part I really love. It brings the uniqueness to the game. Now it's getting very harder to balance. Mm-hmm. Close to impossible to balance. But
where are your mules out?
More civs need to get mules. That's one. Like mules all the way. Like half of the civilization should get a mule. Like mules are beautiful. Like best part about mules is you cannot quick wall around them. That always fails. I love it.
Well, that's a reason not to have it.
That's where you fail your quick walls?
No, you guys fail. I fail all the time. Now we have equal terms. Like.
Okay, Hera, opinion on the new civs from a competitive standpoint.
I like them for the most part. I think they're actually pretty well made. I have a bit of a weird thing about them. I feel like a lot of civs are just lacking like options nowadays. Like Jurchens don't get knights. They just have like less options in general. I don't know if I like that. I'm in situations now where like I'm playing Hindustani versus the Jan Swordsman, and I have nothing that counters Jan Swordsman. I don't have knights. I have to go long swords, which is super weird. So I feel like we're getting to a point where the civs are becoming so different that sometimes you're just missing a key tool to deal with another civ, which makes like really weird matchups. 99% of players don't have to worry about that, and 99% of cases aren't a problem. But like the 1% case, sometimes it feels weird. But I would say overall, I do like the new civs, and I think that they are better than their win rate suggests. Like I think Jurchens are actually not bad. I don't know why they have 40% win rates. Wei is also not bad. Shu has a high win rate. I don't know how, but I guess that civ is like straightforward. but I don't know.
TaToH?
Overall, good.
I think Shu actually is perfectly balanced for me. I think it's probably among the new seeds, the chip that is more balanced right now. Like Kittens, to be fair, in my opinion, Kittens, the only thing they have strong is the pastors. If they get nerfed the pastors, I think they will lower the win rate quite a bit, and it will be kind of
That's coming for sure. Though.
something
That's
to come.
100% coming up.
Yeah, it has to come. And I agree with her. Like I think maybe Wei is a bit the weakest right now, because like you kind of get to village, but you need to do the upgrades, and in some maps, maybe you don't have enough resources to do horse collar, so you only have one villager, so you don't really have a huge boost there. And Hurchens, I like them. I think they have potential to do funny stuff with the no food decay. It's gonna be interesting for sure.
Viper, to close this off.
Keaton's mega broken, Wu broken on hybrid maps. I think Urchins, Wei, and Shu are all underwhelming to average. Like Shu, I think still like they're like in the boat of like Britons, Ethiopians. You have to play archer crossbow no matter what, and then you have to play.
Unit.
Well,
that's the combo. And then in Imperial, they are sick.
Yeah, you can also play a fast imp with Shu and get Arbalest, like TaToH tried to do in his game against Hera. I think Urchins as well. I mean, the reason I think they have a low win rate as well, I think a lot of people are trying out the Grenadiers and such, which are...
I feel so bad.
I think they're good
with
at
a
certain
tech
stage of the game, yeah. But like as a 70 gold unit in Castle Age, they feel underwhelming. And then Wei, of course. If you're untouched, completely untouched, your eco becomes good and you have okay units. But yeah, I think only Keatons and Wu are like higher up, and then the rest of the civs are middle to low.
Understood. Guys, this was so much fun. Thank you so very much for the time. This one was a little bit longer than usual. And to the folks watching at home, if you enjoyed the video, you know what you have to do. Comment, like, subscribe, all of those things. And we'll be back in probably a week, give or take.